You don't disrespect people that is trying to respect you.
Yes, sir.
I remember the last time that I was out to the airport. They let me and my followers get on first.
Yes, sir.
Now remember, that flag is still flying over America.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Honor and respect the man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because he still have his flag. There isn't much that can be interchanged between them and us. In that way of respect.
Yes, sir.
We don't have to get up to try to make fun of them just because you have ruined yourself. And now you have ruined them.
Yes, sir. That's right, dear Apostle.
Just remember
Yes, sir.
that they show you respect after you have ruined yourself.
Yes, sir, dear Apostle.
Show them respect too.
Yes, sir.
Because when you didn't know yourself, you didn't respect yourself, nor anyone else.
That's right.
We used to disgrace ourselves and them too.
That's right.
Because we didn't know ourselves.
Yes, sir.
But now we respect ourselves and we respect them.
Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir.
You go out there disrespecting the honor of this land. They are owned as long as they're in power.
Yes, sir.
I think you will be showing disrespect for the high honor that has been conferred on you.
Yes, sir.
And me, by God.
Yes, sir. Thank you, dear Holy Apostle.
Yes, sir. Respect everybody. Everybody will respect you.
Right. Right. Thank you.
I told myself that I wasn't going to make any face-to-face videos for a while. That's one of the reasons why I've been uploading a whole lot of my writings from my journal. I had a small chit-chat with a Muslim friend of mine today. And a couple of weeks ago, he had sent me a chat message on Facebook on one of my stories, and he asked me to call him, and I told him I'll get around to calling. And I'm at a point in my life to where I'm so busy trying to get all of my writings together and get all of my books together and everything so I can put them out there, because I'm currently getting ready to retire. This coming October the 24th, I'll be retiring from the system because I've done pretty good in the system. I've been retiring. And so I find myself moving on a whole lot. And when I say I find myself moving forward of a whole lot of things, it means that you can observe yourself. If you find yourself evolving and moving forward towards things, it's a human being that is no longer finding interest in things that they currently that they previously had interest in. It just doesn't pull our interest anymore. We don't find any contentment in involving ourselves in things that we previously felt content in involving ourselves in. And that's a form of death. You know, you're dying to certain things, and that's also a form of maturity and growth. And you're moving ahead into better things, and you're starting to put forth more effort and interest in working towards the betterment of yourself in terms of the gifts that the Creator gifted you with. Lately, I've been doing a whole lot of writing. I've been pulling a whole lot of things out of my journal, and I've been making videos of them, and I've been uploading. But I want to get back to this short conversation that I had with this Muslim friend of mine. He asked me to call him. This was last week, and this particular brother, he always asked me to come down to the mosque, and just out of respect, I won't mention his name, but I referred to him a whole lot before. But every time I come down to the mosque, I'm faced with a whole lot of disrespect. You know, people act kind of strange, and even with him, you know, he invites me down there to the mosque out here in Las Vegas, which is mosque number 75. And then when I show up, he's a bit standoffish, and so I feel as though he's fallen under the influence of the people down there who have this type of animosity towards me, because I used to go down there to the Nation of Islam, and in the mid-90s I was in what they call a process of when you go through the teachings and everything to become a Muslim. And I didn't finish going through the teachings because some of the teachings I didn't agree with. And so what it is with the Muslim world, especially with the Nation of Islam, if you say that you agree to something currently, then as far as they're concerned, that's where your mind should forever conclude on that particular understanding. So you're not allowed to move on and reflect back to what you previously agreed on and come up with a different point of view, or become more enlightened based upon what you previously agreed with, and therefore now you don't agree with it the same way that you did before, or at all. To them, that's called being a hypocrite. Are you a hypocrite? Because before you agreed to this, now you don't. Or now you don't understand it this way, now you understand it that way. But that's not based upon the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Well, how do you know that Elijah Muhammad gave you the facts? All you know is that this is what he taught you. These are the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. This is what you've been taught. But it doesn't necessarily imply what you've been taught is indeed the facts. You know, when Farah Muhammad gave them the measurement of the sun and the earth, he said the sun is is 816,000 miles in diameter. Yeah, but ever since then, the sun has had dark spots in it, and it has dark spots ever since then. And therefore, if there's dark spots, it means that the sun is getting smaller. And that's why our electricity bills are going up right now, because we're getting less electricity from the sun. But without going into all that science and everything, I'm still talking about how if you come to understand something indifferent than the way that they were taught to understand it, then you're looked upon as a hypocrite. And so whenever I attend down there, when I'm being invited, a lot of them down there, simply because I didn't complete the processing, I'm looked upon as a hypocrite. And therefore they've got attitudes. So in other words, you can't choose to say, no, I would rather not be a part of this, but we still can be friends and we can be brothers. Not with them. You're either in or you're not. You're either a member of the Nation of Islam and a brother, or you ain't a brother at all. However, they call all black people their brothers and sisters. Well, all black people are not brothers who are Muslim or sisters who are Muslim. And then they revert back to the teachings of where Elijah Muhammad said, well, all black people are Muslims, they just don't know it. That's very convenient, but you can't look at me in that same light. But going back to our conversation, I told him that I'll get around to calling you, and I told him that I'm done coming down there to the mosque because I'm sick and tired of all of the disrespect. And every time you invite me down there, the only thing that I experience is a bunch of disrespect. And so he wrote me back a question: do you love Minister Louis Farrakhan? And so I asked him, do you love him? Do you love Farrakhan? And do you love Elijah Muhammad? Don't ask a man who is not a follower of Elijah Muhammad or Minister Louis Farrakhan if he loved them. That's something I should be asking you, considering the way that I'm treated whenever I come down there to the mosque. Do you love them? Okay, because in Elijah Muhammad's last speech, he told you guys to embrace and respect everybody. That was his last speech, which implies that was his last petition to his followers in terms of how he wanted those who said that they follow him to treat other human beings. He was even telling you this about white people in whom he taught you were the devil. He told you to respect the devils too. He told all of you to respect the devil Muslims. He said, we've got white Muslims too. White Muslims. But you just got through saying that the white man is the devil. How can, if the white man is the devil, and if he is the devil by nature, how could the white man become a Muslim? And how could you perceive the white man as a Muslim if by nature he's the devil? But he was telling his followers in his last speech that they have white Muslims, which is true. And see, and this is what Brother Malcolm was saying when he took his pilgrimage to Mecca. Because me, considering my upbringing in Chicago, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm 62 years old right now, going on 63. And I've never met a white man who treated me like he was a demon. The only people that I've ever come across that treated me like devils was you black folks, our people. So to me, if I've ever had any problems with any community treating me demonically, it has been my own. And that's all I experience when I come down there to the Nation of Islam, to where none of that is supposed to be transpiring. That's all. So asking me if I love the minister, and therefore asking me if I love Elijah Muhammad, because you can't ask me if I love Farrakhan without also asking me if I love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Why are you asking me? I should be asking you that. Now, if you ask me, David, do you love Yeshua? I'll be able to say yes, because I understand the man's message, and the man's message is what made me grow to love him, because without him existing, I wouldn't have this message. I wouldn't have this clear message of being a non-conformant to religion and politics and other things like gang violence and drugs and alcohol. It's all there. It's all there. So if you ask me if I love Yeshua, I can tell you yes, and I can tell you why. But if I ask you, as a member of the Nation of Islam, do you love Farrakhan? And if you therefore love Elijah Muhammad, the reason why that question is even coming up is because I'm observing your actions towards myself, if not other human beings. Because Minister Louis Farrakhan, when I met him, he showed me nothing but love. And had I had the pleasure of meeting the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'm pretty certain that Elijah Muhammad would have treated me with love, humility, and respect, just like he treated everyone else whom he came in contact with, including Dr. King. That man showed everybody love and respect, even though he didn't agree with their methodology. He treated Dr. King with the utmost respect. He even educated Dr. King, researching. And Dr. King, when he left from talking to Elijah Muhammad, if you notice, he never said Negro again. He started saying black man. And if you notice those differences, Dr. King at first was saying Negro, but after he talked to Elijah Muhammad, he started saying black man. So if you are a Muslim in the Nation of Islam, instead of asking someone else if they love the minister, you need to ask yourself if you love the minister, or if you love Elijah Muhammad. Do you love them? Because if you do, it would show in your behavior towards everyone. Your behavior is what reveals what you say that you believe and whom you follow. It's your behavior. It's not what you say. It's not what you say. So simply because you're walking around in a suit and a bow tie, which is a European garment, you know, yeah, it's European. Suit and tie, European. Suit and bow tie, European. Devil, you know. Ask yourself. Don't ask me. You shouldn't concern yourself with who I love. You should only concern yourself with who you say that you love. Stay focused on the path that you've chosen to be on. Don't worry about everyone else.